mother. Attention on this channel. We've got an important message. All observations and opinions shared here are for educational purposes only. This content is intended for adults. Viewer discretion is advised. Be advised that any individuals mentioned are not intended to suggest involvement in any crime.
Case by case, got the fire.
Ha!
Yo, you wanna talk about true crime? We start with the data flows. Digital footprints meet criminal defense, that's how this story goes. This channel's all about online evidence, the stuff they overlook. From live stream chats to deleted posts, it's all in the true crime book. My goal is to provide insight for the attorney in the darkest hour, to find the proof that can make a case or break a criminal's power. So whether you're a lawyer or a PI, we're diving deep in the mess, exposing misconduct and hidden truths to get to the very best leads. We break it down case by case on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
Case by case.
What's the motto? We're here for the victims, the ones who were left behind. We're here for the families, giving them peace of mind. We follow the paper trail, the digital footprints and the timelines, connecting the dots, we're reading between the lines. We don't just talk theory, we show you how it works in practice. We're here to help you stay ahead of the curve, to get a new analysis. You think you're in charge, but we're here to find what matters most. We're giving a voice to the voiceless, like a digital ghost. Digital ghost, digital ghost. We break it down case by case on the trail of the facts. We show how digital evidence changes case outcomes, we on their tracks. No rumors, no gossip, just the evidence clear and concise, shining a light on the shadows at any cost or price. What do we do?
Case by case.
What's the motto? From digital clues. The mystery, you wanna know the answers? We're dedicated to the chase, from the first look at the scene to the final resting place. We're here to find the answers, to give the victims their due. A true crime channel with a heart and a purpose too. We're here to build up, to expose the truth, and to shine a light on the darkest of deeds with all our might. We're here for the truth, we're here for the facts, and that's it. We don't chase the trends, we just chase the truth and never quit. We let the past speak for itself, we let the facts lay the ground. We're just here to be a voice, a tribute that is sound. Yeah, it's all for the truth.
Ha! Come on, come on. Let's go.
Their thoughts for you, yeah. Won't kiss the room. Yeah. Come on. Let's go.
Mother was stabbed. The 17-year-old was shot, and the 12-year-old's throat was cut, as was the mom. It tells me that they had a plan coming in to bring zip ties or Flexcoats in with them. So they had a plan when they came in.
The sheriff's office says there were no signs of forced entry, and it's unclear what the motive was behind this attack.
He has, Lenise. District Attorney Keith Blackwood says they do plan to seek the death penalty because of the gruesome details surrounding this case.
William Graham Oliver appeared before a judge Thursday for a bond hearing, but the outcome was never in doubt. Oliver is charged with 8 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Lisa Fields, her 17-year-old daughter Keziah Luker, who was 8 months pregnant, and her 12-year-old son Thomas Cordell Jr. After reading the charges, Judge Brandy Hambright denied Oliver's bond, which defense attorney Bucky Thomas says was expected. Prosecutors pointed to Oliver's criminal history, which dates back to the 1990s, and the brutal facts of the case as reasons to keep Oliver behind bars. The DA's office says Fields and Cordell were nearly decapitated. Luker was shot in the head twice, and all 3 victims were found with their hands bound behind their backs in separate rooms.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Case by Case. My name is Amy. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time being here. I do have a couple mods in the chat under your scars and angel eyes. We do keep it clean here. We keep it respectful. This channel is got a very large true crime community following. I'm hoping to bring more attention to this case depending on what happens in the near future. So welcome in everybody. And I know that for a lot of you, this is the first time. I have not seen any coverage of this case in this kind of a format. So that was one of the compelling reasons why I wanted to cover this case. This is either going to be short-lived or we're going to go the long haul. We do have a suspect, William Graham Oliver, who was arrested in this case, and he has pled not guilty, which most criminal defendants do on the onset until they find out what evidence is against them. So there is a poll chat at the top of the chat. So if you could answer the poll question, that would be great. I'm just going to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about myself for all of those. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Because this is a new case to this channel, and I wanted to just kind of give you like a little bit of my background. I live in Ohio. I've been running this channel now for about 4 years. I started this channel as not as a first-time wrongfully conviction advocate. I did work behind the scenes on multiple other cases, but I started this channel for a case that I'm still advocating for. We are in habeas corpus right now. I do have multiple resources that work with me on the channel, including multiple lawyers, different people with different forensic backgrounds. For example, Dr. Silkman, who is from Australia, he's a DNA analysis. He worked in the DNA field for over 25 years. He's been on the channel multiple times going over DNA on cases here. So as this case evolves, I will, depending on what avenue, what route we go, I'll be pulling them in to get their expertise. I personally used to work for law enforcement. I was a radio room dispatcher and 911 call taker. I've worked with leads. I've worked with comm channels. I'm very familiar with police scanners and how the dispatching process works. So if you have any questions for me, I would love, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Don't be shy. Speak up in the chat, ask questions. I do want to give a fair warning. I'm new to this case, so if I misstate any factual information, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm still getting acclimated to the details in this case, and there are many circulating as far as the timeline, when certain things took place. I've still not been able to pin down certain aspects of when law enforcement was called, when law enforcement arrived, and that even goes for the sheriff in this case. And it's quite bizarre that this early on, in fact, I do have the dispatch scanners that I'm going to play for you guys. And I have a little bit of audio of someone in the neighborhood recording the sirens coming in. And that was a little bit after midnight. And the sheriff has repeatedly stated that law enforcement didn't arrive until 2:30 a.m. So that is going to have to be something that we work out because that's a key point. I also, I've asked repeatedly and I've gotten no answers for an exact address on William Graham Oliver, simply because the addresses in the court documents do not match the house where the search warrant was served. And I believe the house where the search warrant was served was owned by his mother, but I believed he lived there according to the neighbor. But there is another residence. There's actually two. He has a residence listed for him on Moffett, and he also has a P.O. box. So we'll go over that. So let's dig in. First and foremost, I always start my lives with pretty much a PowerPoint. It kind of keeps me on track for, everything that we're going to go over in the case, kind of like a bullet point, and we can jump right in if nobody has any questions. Anybody got any questions for me already? Yes, guys, please like and subscribe and share the video. It's free. It just boosts the channel. It basically keeps it up in the algorithm so more people can find the video. So we can get, if this case takes a turn for the worst, and when I say that, what I mean is I'm seeing things right now split down the middle. This is either going to be a straightforward one suspect who committed this crime for his own personal motive, or I could very easily see this case imploding into something that has to do with drugs, family ties, debts. I mean, I'm seeing all of that, but all we can do at this time is speculate. And I'm just going to go over the basic facts of the case. And if anybody in chat has additional information that you want to add, I will pop it up on the screen for you. So, welcome to Wilmer, Alabama. This is where this case took place. From everything that I've researched on this little area, it seems to be a cute, quaint, very family-oriented community. It's small, largely a rural area located in Mobile, Alabama, just northwest of the city of Mobile. It is not an incorporated city, which that means it does not have its own municipal government and is instead governed at the county level. And that's probably going to be the reason why we're going to go over some of the court documents that I've obtained. And there was a special judge already assigned to this case. And that's probably the reason why, based on the fact that the county, or that Wilmer itself, is not a municipal government. The population is rather small. It's estimated to be about 10 to 12,000 residents, depending on how the zip codes form out. And Wilmer is known for its low population density, rural setting, and tight-knit community feel, with much of the area made up of residential homes, small local businesses, and open land. It sits along the U.S. Route 98 and serves as a quieter, more spread out area compared to the nearby urban Mobile. The community is primarily working class, with the medium age in the mid-30s and a strong emphasis on family household and local schools. So this case has not received the national attention that I feel that it deserves, especially prior to the arrest. And when I heard about the case, I happened to look all over line, and I found the Facebook group, which I will drop the link. If you are new to the case and you're not already in the group, I will drop the link for this case in the chat if you would like to join the Facebook group discussion about this case. I've been in that group for a couple of weeks now, reading everything that's possible that I can get my hands on, and I'm dropping the link for the Facebook group now in the chat. So the Facebook group is actually got quite a large number of members, and I can see why. It seems that a lot of people in the group are local, and I can see why this kind of an event would hit tragically so close to home, be upsetting, and you would be fearful. So for all of you in the community, my heart goes out to you. For those who may be listening who knew the family personally, I'm so sorry for your loss. And the children, I'm sure the community with children that went to school with them, I'm sure are grieving. So it's just a tragic case all around. And that's why I want to make sure that I give it its due diligence on reporting on the case the best that I can and getting more attention, because we just don't know how this case is going to end up. So how this started out was on April 19th. I believe it was April 19th. And according to sources, Keziah is, I believe, the 17-year-old daughter of Lisa Fields. Lisa Fields was the mother. Keziah was the 17-year-old daughter who had an 18-month-old child, and she was also 8 months pregnant. And then she had a 12-year-old son. Late in the night, Keziah's, I believe it's her boyfriend. I don't believe they're married, but Keziah's boyfriend was working up in Alaska off the shore. and he noticed that her 360 app was moving late at night. And with her being so close to being due to deliver, he became concerned. So he started calling, but he wasn't getting any answers. So that was what triggered someone being alarmed at something wasn't quite right. So he contacted a family member, and he had a family member, which was his stepfather, go over and check on the family at the trailer. And he reportedly is the one who came across the crime scene. I'm not going to personally discuss the injuries. That's why I played the clip at the beginning. The sheriff is the one who laid out all of the horrible, gruesome details about how they were unalived. They were all three in separate rooms. We don't know what rooms they were in, but we do know that they were bound with zip ties, with their hands behind their backs. I can't even imagine what that scene looked like. Awful. So we do know that the bodies were found at some time after midnight. I have repeatedly seen, I have scoured numerous news clippings. And if there's anybody in chat who knows for sure, there's news clippings where the sheriff is reporting that they believe that they were killed around 9 a.m. in the morning. And that's just not possible with so many people who claim that they were communicating with people in the house later in the day. Even Nathan Fields, Sr., who is Lisa's husband, he was also working offshore. He said that he spoke to her around 6:20 on the 19th. And then he said he called 20 minutes later and never got a hold of her again. So the 9 o'clock in the morning has to be someone's either misquoting or someone's got their facts wrong, but I have yet to pin down exactly when law enforcement believes this crime took place. We do know, based on what the sheriff and the prosecutor has said, was that William Graham Oliver, he also goes by Bill, was seen at the property around 7:30 p.m. on the 19th. There's also reports of someone saying they saw him leave. I believe they're claiming he left in Lisa's vehicle and then came back. That could be false, but that is a statement that I read. So that is a possibility. But also the sheriff did state that the vehicle in the driveway where they served the search warrant on William Oliver, the truck in the driveway that was towed was not the truck that he was driving when he was seen at the property on Abel Moody Road, which is where Lisa lives. He was actually driving his neighbor's vehicle, apparently. That was according to the sheriff. Why the exact hour of the notification from the 360 app is still not known. This activation was the primary reason the authorities were eventually called to the scene. And this is absolutely why I want to get a copy of the probable cause affidavit. That is going to tell everybody, it's going to lay out what law enforcement evidence-wise had against William Oliver, what led them to obtaining a search warrant to search the home, and we'll probably get a better idea of the timeline then. So law enforcement responded in the early hours of April 20th, 2026. It's a quiet rural home on Abel Moody Road in Wilmer, Alabama. It became the scene of one of the most disturbing crimes in recent Mobile County history. 3 family members, 46-year-old Lisa Gale Fields, her 17-year-old pregnant daughter, Keziah Ariana Luker, and her 12-year-old son, Thomas T.J. Cordell Jr., were found brutally murdered, their hands bound behind their backs with zip ties. There was an 18-month-old child, Keziah's toddler, was left unharmed, thank God, inside the home. The killings, which also claimed the life of Keziah's unborn baby, have been described by investigators as a quadruple homicide. So hopefully, if William Oliver is the man. Hopefully the prosecutor will be charging him with 4 counts for the baby. I do believe that there are 8 counts of capital murder against him right now, and they have claimed that they will be seeking the death penalty. So here is another, this is where the timeline gets wild. The bodies of the victims were discovered at approximately 2:30 a.m. on Monday, April 20th, 226 inside their mobile home on Auble Moody Road in Wilmer. Upon entering the residence, the relative found the victims and contacted authorities. So I'm going to play for you. First, I'm going to pull this up. This is a screenshot of, I'm assuming this is a camera on a property around that street. So you can see at the top of the screenshot that it is 12:07 a.m. And we've been told that law enforcement arrived at 2:30 a.m. However, we have this screenshot and we're going to hear sirens, and it coincides with the police scanner. And the relative who went inside, I don't believe he found all 3 victims at the same time. I don't mean at the same time, but I don't believe that he found all 3. And when you listen to the scanner, you'll kind of understand why. And the officer reporting what he calls the patients in the home, he has the ages wrong. You'll hear it. So I just wanted to point out this screenshot of 12:07, and I'm going to play for you the audio. Somebody must have been outside. Maybe this is from a cell phone. I don't know. Somebody outside must have been enjoying a cigarette because I've seen the smoke, but I wasn't given an address of where this video was taken and in reference to Lisa's home. But apparently this was made available because this was the incoming onslaught of law enforcement responding to shots fired. People did hear gunshots in the area. So let's go into the scanner audio. This is where, let me see something just really, really, really quick. Perfect. Wait a minute. 1 second. Okay, never mind. This reportedly took place at, well, I'll let you listen to it and then we'll talk about it.
Between Ridgecrest Drive North and Jack Williams Road, Station 2, gunshot at 8045 Auble Moody Road. Between Ridgecrest Drive North and Jack Williams Road. Timeout 23:47.
County 14, second unit in. It's going to be for gunshots on 12-8045 Auble Moody Road, Cross Street, Ridgecrest Drive North. County 14, second unit in on 12, time out 23:14. 14 copy.
That's affirmative. At least 2 confirmed.
73 en route.
6 copy. I'm seeing nothing until 23:48. 14 fire.
Industry 3 copy en route. You will need a stage.
Copy that.
You do 14 fire alarm.
So that was the first one, and I want to thank the individual who sent that to me. I appreciate it. And it's typically, so I know some of you are probably hearing 2347 and 2348. I do not believe that is a representation of time, because that would be 3 o'clock in the morning. What I believe that is, those are call numbers that the officers are when they click their scanner and they log in with the dispatcher, or when she's calling them, she has to call out their call number. So 2347 and 2348 may very well be either badge numbers, walking numbers, car numbers, unit numbers. However, they do it in that county. Every county is a little bit different. So I wouldn't get too hung up on that. So here's the second portion of the scanner.
Is coming for post 2.
Copy. Do we have any information on where the patients are shot?
Both patients are going to be shot in the head.
Copy. Can we check the status of South Lake?
Copy.
Medic 1, County 11, we're about to turn off Flex 1 right now. Copy.
And I'm going to go on to play part 3. And if you heard that clear enough, I know scanners can be wonky when it comes across the area. You have to kind of you have to have a learning ear for it. But they said 2 shot in the head. We know now that that's not true. But I'm assuming it was a horrific sight, and that was probably the first assumption that the family member had. So I wouldn't get too hung up on that mistaken information that was probably relayed to law enforcement when they pulled up. They probably were waiting for backup before they went into the property. So, they've got the family member who's coming outside relaying what they saw. So that's probably on the initial onset, the information that came out. But we know now it's been addressed. That's not all of the victims were shot. There was only one.
Dispatch, Medic 1.
Medic 1.
Would you like information on 1 or 2?
You can go ahead on 1.
This information is going to be for a total of 3 patients, approximately 40-year-old, 20-year-old, and 30-year-old, all female. It's going to be Dr. G-U-Y-E-N at USA. Med control number is 3209, and time was 0028. And show me back in service.
Medic 1 copy, showing you back in service.
I'm going to play that one more time.
Dispatch, Medic 1.
Medic 1.
Would you like information on 1 or 2?
You can go ahead on 1.
This information is going to be for a total of 3 patients, approximately 40-year-old, 20-year-old, and 30-year-old, all female. It's going to be Dr. G-U-Y-E-N at USA. Med control number is 3209, and time was 0028. And show me back in service.
Medic 1 copy, showing you back in.
So I found it interesting that he said a 40-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 30-year-old. I don't know how he could have. Hi, Bridget. That's okay. I don't know how he would have mistaken a 12-year-old for a 30-year-old, and we just don't know. So we won't speculate on that. We know he was 12. He wasn't 30. So do you guys, anybody right now in chat have any questions so far, or want to bring up a certain topic that kind of goes along with what I've talked about already? I do have a lot more information that I'm putting together about this case and why the timeline is crucial, and some of the family history. I hope to have a guest on who has known the family for years, that has really nothing but great things to say about Lisa and the kids. She described to me how Lisa had remodeled that trailer, pretty much the entirety of the inside of it. And she did it all by herself. And she was so proud of the work that she did. MD Jean says, also said all female. I'm confused. I'd heard 12 and 17-year-olds were males. No, the 12-year-old was a male. The 17-year-old was an 8-month pregnant female, and the mother was 46. So this is how, in cases like this, from the very onset, you got to kind of weed through the chaos, because that's exactly what it is. It's chaos that is transpiring on scene and immediately after the scene, especially when you have family members showing up, you have neighbors coming out. That's why I've been kind of, taking my time putting stuff together, because I no more find out information and then I find out it was incorrect. And I don't want to impede, I don't want to put information out there that's not quite true. I may put out speculation, but I'm going to say it's speculation. So let's see. Let's play a clip from the sheriff. Again, he's describing the scene, which we went through that at the very beginning, but I'm going to play this. This is a separate clip.
A family member of the victims, that there was some deceased individuals inside the house. Once we made entry, discovered, the mother, 46 years old, had been murdered. All 3 victims had their hands bound behind them with zip ties or flex cuffs. The mother was stabbed. The 17-year-old was shot, and the 12-year-old's throat was cut.
I'm sorry, the 12-year-old
throat was cut, as was the mom.
And she was stabbed in addition to the throat.
Yes.
Any indication who was killed first?
No, there's no way to know that. Not at this point. They were in 3 separate rooms. And
is there anything stolen from the home, or do y'all think this might be a robbery situation?
We're not speculating anything. I can tell you the house was gone through and left in disarray, and so someone was searching for something.
You say there's just a bunch of stuff torn off walls throughout the house,
like dresser drawers, left open, things removed from the dresser drawers. Just what would typically happen if somebody's searching for something.
These are her 2 children?
Yes.
Okay, the father. Where is the father?
The father of the
boy is his.
And what I want to say too, there was also an 18-month-old that was left unharmed at the residence as well. So.
And so, do all 3 children have 3 different fathers, or how many fathers?
The father of the 17-year-old is estranged, and but lives out of town, from what we're told. At this point, we don't suspect any kind of domestic or family type situation.
The family members of the 17-year-old said that she was also pregnant. Can you confirm that?
She was 7 or 8 months pregnant. Yes.
If you did
and the father of that child, as well as the 18-month-old, works offshore, and he's actually the one that triggered all this when he saw her phone activated in the middle of the night. It's good to have that Life 360. And so we thought maybe something was wrong with the pregnancy, and he, when he couldn't get her, reached out to another family member to go check on her.
The child that was unharmed, that is also a child of the 17-year-old?
Yes. Yep.
And you guys don't know what this is about at this point? You can't say anything about it?
It's too early in the investigation to know, but we're covering all angles and we're covering every possibility that we can.
Do you have any idea how long they had been dead?
It's happened sometime in the middle of the night, so
Okay.
you know, it's how long, you know.
Aha. So in this one, he does say in the middle of the night, because every news report that I have pulled up, that's why I didn't use the information, said morning. So I'm glad I caught that.
It took, you know, and we don't know if there was, you know, one person, two people, you know, we would presume that more than one person to be able to isolate three people. So.
There are signs of forced entry, like broken door, broken windows?
No.
Have there been any past calls out there for any reason?
I don't want to touch on that just yet.
What about the father of the 12-year-old?
As far as what?
I mean, has he been questioned?
Well, again, it lives out of state, so.
I thought that was the father of the 17-year-old. Is that the same father?
Yes.
Okay.
My understanding, yes. Again, we're still learning all the dynamics of the families and those living there, and you know, it's been a little confusing from different family members.
With the death of the unborn child, would this be considered 4 murders?
It should be. That will be up to the district attorney's office. You know, there's typically some, you know, hurdles they have to cross to make that decision, but you know, that'll ultimately be their decision.
Was there any signs that the victims fought back?
Not that we could obviously see. So.
Or that they were drugged or in any reasonable way to tell they were incapacitated?
Just other than being restrained.
You know, it just sounds incredibly brutal case right off the bat. Do you have any comment about just the nature in which this, so far what y'all learned, how this occurred, the brutality of the fact that they were bound, possibly before they were murdered, that sort of deal?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to bound them after somebody's murdered, but it would, you know, for someone to, you know, it tells me that they had a plan coming in to bring zip ties or Flexcoats in with them. So they had a plan when they came in, but you know, if you got a beef with an adult, you know, it still is not, there's nothing worth killing someone over, but to murder 2 children brutally, you know, and a 12-year-old was almost decapitated. And so it was a brutal scene. And, you know, I hope and feel comfortable we'll have this animal or animals off the streets soon.
So at this point, you believe more than one person was involved, but you don't know that?
We don't know that. It'd be hard for one individual to control 3 people at one time.
Approximately what time did this happen?
We don't know yet. It's sometime in the middle of the night. You know, we know we got a call around 2:30 in the morning.
And that was 2:30 this morning?
Yes.
And that was from the husband who was offshore, worried about his pregnant.
Seeing the phone moving,
yeah,
and not being able to reach her.
And then another relative goes to the house.
Yep.
And did they go in the house and see?
They did.
Okay. And that's when
And they called 911. They went in, saw part of the scene, and collected the 18-month-old and called 911.
And I'm sorry, did you say there was or was not signs of forced entry?
There did not appear to be signs of forced entry.
Between the unborn child and the 4 others that were found inside that home, or did anyone else live there as far as you know?
As far as we know, no.
And you sound confident like you're going to get those responsible apprehended soon. Do you
Sorry, I was muted. I find that, hey, Mother of Dragons, how are you? I find that interesting that he just answered that question that way. Let's listen to that again.
They went in, saw part of the scene, and collected the 18-month-old and called 911.
And I'm sorry, did you say there was or was not signs of forced entry?
There did not appear to be signs of forced entry.
Between the unborn child and the 4 others that were found inside that home, or did anyone else live there as far as you know?
As far as we know, no.
And you sound confident like you're going to get those responsible apprehended soon. Do you have a person of interest in mind right now that you're investigating, or persons of interest? Or?
Okay, he was just asked, besides the with the unborn child and the 4 people who live there. So I would assume that Zakiah, the 17-year-old, who had the 18-month-old, who was pregnant, the father of both children, who was the one who noticed the Life 360 app moving late night and requested a family member go check on them, I'm assuming he lives there. So Lisa Fields is married to Nathan Fields. And I did reach out to Nathan, offered him the opportunity to use the platform if he wanted the community to know, because there's been a lot of rumors and things circulating, especially about his criminal background. And I know he got my message, but he has not responded. But then again, this is probably a rough time for him. But there's some issues surrounding him that we'll talk about at a later time. I'm going to let it simmer. I'm gathering information, and I'm researching, and I'm watching. So if anybody has factual information, there is video out there. There is some issues surrounding some incidents that happened at the funeral, and we're going to get into all of that later. There's a lot to unpack here, which is why I say this case right now, it's black and white to me. It's either going to be an individual who committed this crime solely on his own for whatever personal reasons he had a motive, or this case is going to spiral. And that's, that we're going to wait and see what happens. Let's finish listening to this, and then we're going to do some map time.
We do not, but we do have some positive leads on the case.
18-month-old, you said that child's in the care of a family member?
Correct. Not injured that we know of. A girl, I believe.
Any message to the public that might be worried there's a possible quadruple murderer on the loose right now?
Well, obviously keep your ears open, but this seems to be a targeted situation, so I don't think the public at large is in any danger from this particular individual or individuals.
Just 2 questions. You say you have positive leads. Can you tell us anything about, what pieces of information you are bouncing your investigation off of? And then also, when you say targeted, what makes, with all the collection of facts, what makes you feel it was a targeted attack?
Well, again, you go in with flex cuffs and take that many people and secure them. That's just not something that's done on a routine burglary or robbery or anything like that.
Was there anything taken from the scene that you know of?
We don't know.
When will you identify the victims, the names?
Probably later this afternoon. I guess we can do it now and the family's aware. I just don't have the paper with me. Give me 1 second. Right. The victims are Lisa Ferguson, she's 46 years old. Keziah Luker, 17 years old, and Thomas Cordell, 12 years old.
And he's junior, right?
That's not on this paper, but.
Sorry, you said the last name. Oh, it's the last name on the list again.
Cordell, Thomas Cordell, 12 years old, Keziah Luker, 17 years old, and Lisa Ferguson, 46 years old.
We had a name of Lisa Gale Fields for her. Is it possible this is the same person?
Her middle name is Gail, Lisa Gale first.
She has a history of drug abuse, and so does the Thomas Cordell Sr., who also had stated that address. What drugs, could this be a factor?
That's certainly a factor in the case. And again, it's like I said, I'm not, making that assumption or speaking, ill of what happened, but it's certainly a possibility. As I said, the house appeared somebody was searching for something.
Did y'all find any large quantities of narcotics or any sign of that, or scales or baggies? Did you find anything that would indicate that?
Yeah, I'll partly say no large quantities of drugs or cash, but as far as any other evidence, I'm not going to get into this early in the case.
Was Keziah Lucker, was she married to the person offshore? Is that why her last name is different than her brother?
I don't think they were married, but they've been together, so, because he's the father of both children.
With 3 people murdered like this, throat slit and stuff, is cartel, is that a possibility?
Okay, so let me just clarify. Jean posted in chat that Jordan lived in Louisiana, and the sheriff just said that him and the 17-year-old were not together. So the 4th person then would be Nathan Fields. This is why we do these deep dives, just to get everything clarified and get through the chaos. So that's interesting.
I mean, I don't make any assumptions or exclude any possibility in a case like this.
Anything else you want to add, Sheriff?
No, just, if anybody has any information that's, they think's relevant to the case, reach out either, by calling. You can do so anonymously, or go to our website and leave a crime tip, and that's also anonymous if you choose to remain that way.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so I did just receive, thank you. You know who you are, who sent it to me. It took them 3 times to send it because there's numerous reports out there about William Oliver's residence. So just a little bit of a background based on the interviews that Nathan Fields Sr. did. And also, too, when the sheriff said that they were still learning the family and who's who. So to break it down, I did my due diligence. Let's see here. Okay, so Lisa is currently married to Nathan Leon Fields Sr. I don't know where my camera is. Boop. So Lisa is currently married to Nathan Leon Sr. Leon Fields. That's why her name is Lisa Fields. And he is not the father of any of her 3 children that are that the 2 children that were in the home, the daughter or the 12-year-old. However, he does have a son whose name is also Nathan Leon Fields Jr. Apparently was by another woman. So he does have an older son. Now, Elvis Luker Sr., who is Zakiah's father, also has an older son by the name of Damien. And so Elvis is the father of Lisa's daughter. And we're going to get into these individuals and how they may relate to this case or how they don't relate to this case. There's a lot of information circling. And let me see here. Going through chat. Okay. So we'll get into a breakdown on another live because that's a lot, and I don't want to put out any false information. But now, to give a little bit of a background about the suspect who's been arrested, William Oliver. He has been reported to be a lifelong friend of the family, and not lifelong friend. That's out of context. A longtime friend. And according to Nathan, he was reportedly constantly over at their property. So if he's the one who did this and he acted alone, that is horrific on top of everything else that she trusted this person. And I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to play a video for you before we go into Google Earth, because somebody was just able to send me the actual address where William lived. Hang on one second here. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. William Graham Oliver is the suspect that was arrested in this case. He's a longtime friend of the family. I believe he's more so a friend of Lisa's. Now, William Oliver also goes by Bill Oliver, was married to a woman named Mandy. They are now divorced, but Mandy and Lisa Fields, the victim in this case, the 46-year-old victim in this case, were friends, which is even more bizarre. Lisa and Mandy had actually started a landscaping company. They called it Blow and Go. And she was interviewed on the news. I'm going to share my screen really quick and play that interview. But this is Lisa's friend and also the ex-wife of the man who's been arrested for the murders.
Time tonight, we're hearing from a close friend of Lisa Fields.
Mandy Evans telling Fox 10 News Fields was someone who always tried to lift other people up. Our Natalie Williamson in the studio now with her story.
Natalie, Evans told you she's still in shock over what happened.
That's right, Lanice and Cameron. Evans says she still cannot believe someone killed her friend and her children. Tonight, while she's heartbroken by their loss, she's praying the person responsible is found and held accountable.
Somebody so good, like it's something so bad happened.
Tonight, a close friend of Lisa Fields is sharing her memories after Fields, her daughter Keziah Luker, and son Thomas Cordell Jr. were found dead inside their home in Wilmer. Mandy Evans tells me she met Lisa after their children became friends, and their bond was instant.
She would try to lift you up, no matter how you felt. If you were down, she'd get you up. If you were up, she'd keep you up.
Evans says one memory stands out above the rest.
Me, her, and her sister decided we were going to cut grass last year for a living. And we had a company called Blow and Go.
Oh, wow.
But it really got too hot for us, so we stopped. But that was like probably my favorite memory.
Evans says Lisa's son, known as TJ, kept to himself and was just like his mother, sweet, loving, and kind. She tells me she remembers being there when Keziah became a mom.
And she was a great mama. She took on that role like a boss.
Evans says when she got the news that her friend and her children had been killed, she couldn't believe it. She says she's praying whoever is responsible is found and justice is served. Evans also tells me Keziah.
Now think about that. Isn't that awful? I mean, this friend of Lisa's, and I hope they find who did this, and come to find out it's her ex-husband. This case is, there's a lot to it. So I was just given the address, and we're gonna look at it together. So let me write it down. Give me 1 second. We're going to pull it up. We're going to look at where Lisa lived, and then we're going to look at where the search warrant was served. what I was trying to do was look up all of the places in between, grocery stores, gas stations, any place that I thought law enforcement would be, seeking CCTV footage. So let's see, it is, wait a minute. No, 5311. Albert Evans Road. So there was a question earlier in the chat asking, didn't William live in a mobile home? Well, according to according to the court records, and I'll show you really fast, this is why it's been kind of confusing. Okay, where'd they go? I believe here's one. And this has the 7565 Moffett Road, lot 28 in Mobile, Alabama address. There's that one. And then there's also this one. I think it's this one. Yeah. So this one is from May 1st, 2026. This has the 7565 Moffett Road, lot 28 as well. So that's as early as May 1st that this case detail report was made. However, that is not where the search warrant was served. And I've not been able to pin down if he had his own mobile home that he lived at, and he also would sometimes stay at his mom's. I do believe he was pulled over when he was driving a vehicle when he was arrested, and then they served the search warrant at his mother's home. So we are going, let me pull up Google Earth. This is always fun. So I've already gotten quite a bit of information in here. Make sure my screen is, try to make sure my screen is sharing. Okay, it is. So right here is Lisa's trailer. 7950 7950 Auble Moody Road. Unfortunately, there is not a street view available. You can't go down. I mean, we can go down, I guess, a little bit. To the area, you see it's kind of a vast area. There's quite a bit of spacing in between the neighbors. So I don't know if anybody would have heard any kind of commotion going on there. And if I pull back, this looks like it was, if I pull it back a couple years ago when the foliage wasn't so thick, you can get a better idea of the neighborhood and how far apart everyone's homes are. Now, when I zoom back out, this over here is the location of, let me remove his face. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get it to straighten out. These rural areas, they don't give you a lot of street view where you can go right down and look right at the property. This is where the mobile trailer that's listed for him is situated. Get rid of some of these trees. It's back here, kind of like in a little cut. Let me see if I got did I put the address in there? I didn't put the address in there. It's 3555, I think it was Moffett. Let's just put that back in real quick. It is 7565 Moffett Road. My screen sharing. Okay, so 7565 Moffett Road, lot 28. Yep, we're right over top of it. It's right in here, back in the cut. Now, I'm going to put in the address, and we're going to pin it. And as you can see, I have some key markers here. There's a lot of churches. There's a Winn-Dixie. In between this mobile home and 7950 Auble Moody Road is the Circle K truck stop. So if he left the property and went to the mobile home, if that's where he was living on and off, he would have passed this truck stop, which is a 24-hour truck stop. I'm almost positive it has cameras. And then we've got some delis. We have a BP gas station. There's just really not a lot around here. When you look up grocery stores or gas stations or shopping centers, they're few and far between. And then when you go in to look at them, for example, let's go over here and look at the BP. These are all like little smaller shopping centers. So this little gas station right here may have a camera, but I don't know if it's a 24-hour gas station, if it was open past midnight. There's a fruit stand here. There's a BP over here, and it has like a deli shop, I believe, attached to it. So depending on what route he would have taken, he would have had to have gone out of his way to get, if he was going back to the trailer, I felt like that Circle K would be the most indicative place that he could have been captured on CCTV camera. So we are going to back out of here, and we're going to put in the address that I was just given where the search warrant was served, which is 5311 Albert Evans Road. And we're going to see where that takes us. See if we can get down there and get a look at the property a little bit better. Get rid of some of the landscaping. Yep, that's the house. So this is where the search warrant was served, right here. And I've been told that his mother owns this property. So let's back out of it and let's take a look. Oh, we got to pin it. And we're going to see how far away this property is from Lisa's. So it says 37.60. Well, that's the elevation. I'll have to search it later to see what the actual mileage is in between these two properties here. So depending on, it's very almost the same distance depending on which house he went to after this happened. Which is going to determine. So if he came to Albert Evans Road, he would have been passing all of the smaller stores. Very limited possibility that he was caught on camera, but you never know. I mean, there could be people along this route here who had doorbell cameras that law enforcement, did some canvassing and knocked on doors. And that, could go both ways for either property. And the Circle K, I'm sure, was open 24 hours. Well, it was open 24 hours, and I'm sure it had cameras. So there's that. Let me go back over here to the victims. Again, these are the 3 victims that we're talking about. Now I want to show you, this is the layout of the inside of the trailer, facing, if you've seen the picture of the house, this is the front porch, and this was the layout of the house. So they had the far front end, you had the master bedroom with the master bath, a middle room, and a hallway. The living room was dead smack when you walked in the door, kitchen to your right when you walked in the door, a guest bath, and then a bedroom on the end. So when they say each victim was found, wait a minute, am I still sharing my screen over there? When they say each victim was found in a different room, we don't know which room. That's possibly information that could come out in the probable cause. And if you're in the Facebook group for this case, Friday, I was on the phone probably 5 or 6 times. First of all, I've never worked a case out of Alabama before. And their court system and their county records, their clerk's office functions a lot different than some of the states that I'm used to working out of. I had to go in and create a profile. For every page that I got, I had to pay. For example, I work multiple cases out of Indiana. I've worked cases out of here, and anytime you get copies from the clerk's office, it's $1 a page. These are upwards of $5 to $10 to $14.99 a page. I even reached out to the docket, who has a Twitter account, and this is what he does. He obtains documents. He couldn't even get in, and he has an account as well. I created one, and I thought I was retarded because how to maneuver, and I was maneuvering right. It just, the document's not there yet. So he looked for me and he said, nothing's there yet. When I talked to the clerk's office on Friday, she was explaining to me that their computer systems down in the courthouse were down, and they had been down since they got there in the morning. So she had me call back. I talked to her numerous times, sweet, nice little lady. And she had me call back at 4:45 because their office closed at 5 to see if their system was back up, and it wasn't. And so she said for me to call her back Monday morning, and she will track it down for me, because when I first called to obtain it, I was transferred to the actual clerk's office that was handling the case. And the first person that I talked to told me that the PCA was public. It's not under seal. So Monday, I'm going to call her back, this other woman that I've been speaking with. And I think just because of the hassle, she's just going to get it to me or not charge me for it, which is great. But I do want it so we can go over it. Hopefully it's not a shabby probable cause. I mean, they do have to present it to a judge to get a search warrant, and they have to provide in that probable cause everything that they have found against the defendant in order to acquire the search warrant and for the arrest. So hopefully we get we get more information, factual information. So this is Nathan Fields Sr. He's done multiple interviews, and he does discuss knowing William Oliver. The house was ransacked. The house was ransacked after they were there responding to the crime scene. The house was ransacked, which led them to believe it was targeted. Leading up to this William Oliver's arrest, the husband Nathan was stating he felt that it had to be someone that they knew. Well, clearly, or someone with a personal vendetta rather than a random stranger. And let me see what else I have in here. This is some images from the actual sheriff's department serving the search warrant at the front door of the 5311 Albert Evans Road, and a picture of Oliver in the back of a cruiser. They did carry out multiple bags of evidence. They even had canines with them. So I don't know what they were anticipating looking for, but again, I don't have any information that there was a secondary search warrant served on the mobile home. So he must have probably been staying here or went here, because if this is where they're pulling evidence from, the Albert Road, the Albert Evans Road home, that's significant. I can't imagine. I mean, did he steal a bunch of stuff from the property? I've also been told, now this is just this is speculation. The criminal history of Nathan Fields Sr. is not speculation. He was arrested several years ago with, according to the documents that I have acquired, we're going to go over this on a different time, but he was arrested with a substantial amount of meth and has admitted to working with the cartels. So that right there is a huge red flag with the mannerisms of the way that this family was killed, because it does have signatures of cartel. They do take out children, but the husband came out and said that this has nothing to do with that. I've also read up on William Oliver himself, and that he very well could have possibly had a meth addiction. And there's been a lot of speculation about drugs and whatnot being sold out of the house. That could all be not true. And if Nathan Fields wants to come on here and, help us get the facts straight, that would be fantastic. So we can move on and focus on what's most important in this case, and that's the truth and this family getting justice. That's why I gave him the opportunity to come on. He has not responded, but the invitation still stands. And I know this information is floating out around there. So my only suggestion to him is to try to get ahead of the onslaught of rumors that may unfold. So that's it for my PowerPoint presentation. We are now going to watch a couple of interviews that Nathan Fields did, starting with the one where he's talking about whoever did this. So let me pull that in here.
whose wife and stepchildren were brutally murdered in Wilmer this week, opens up to our Maya Falgu. She joins us now in the studio. Maya, I can only imagine what he's going through, and him and the rest of his family.
Yeah, Roseanne, Nathan Fields is just absolutely heartbroken, and talking to him today was very emotional. He is pleading for answers and wants to clear up online speculation about what happened to his family. As tears rolled down his eyes.
I was supposed to protect them. I was supposed to be there for them. They killed our babies. They killed my wife.
Nathan Fields, husband to 46-year-old Lisa Fields and stepfather to 17-year-old Keziah Luker and 12-year-old Thomas T.J. Cordell Jr., recounts the last time he spoke to his family Sunday evening.
I was at work, and me and her had been talking all throughout the day, and it was 6:21, and that was the last time we spoke where she had responded. And about 20 minutes later, I tried calling her and didn't get no answer. It was going directly to voicemail, and I knew instantly something was wrong.
They were found dead inside their home on Auble Moody Road in Wilmer, their hands zip-tied around their backs in separate rooms. The mom stabbed, her daughter shot, and her son nearly decapitated. Investigators say that there was no forced entry and the house had been rummaged through.
Lisa was my wife. You know, we've known each other for over 30 years. I watched TJ turn into such a little man because she was getting ready to enroll in college.
Now Fields was working on the Alaskan pipelines when tragedy struck. Wednesday, he finally got back to Wilmer, and he says that this attack was personal.
Whoever it was someone that came over to the house on a regular. Someone who was jealous of the progress in life that we were making. The part that kills me is knowing that they were afraid, you know, is knowing that they were scared. Whoever did this knew us.
Fields says that there has been speculation online that his criminal past tied into the murders.
Everybody's saying that this was the cartel because of what happened to me in 2018, where I was arrested in Texas. Yes, I was affiliated with them. No, this wasn't a strike back from a debt owed or anything like that.
Fields says he has been in contact with the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and the FBI.
I'm praying, but it's times like this where it's hard to have faith.
As of now, there are no arrests in this case, but WKRG will continue following up on this story and provide updates on air and online. Live in the studio, Maya Falgu.
So Nathan is at okay, Brandy is saying Nathan is at a fundraiser for his family. He has no idea this is going on. And after talking with Lisa's niece, she's not happy this is going on. Well, okay. Now we're going to talk about when he does find out who the suspect was. And Nathan does know this is going on because I did contact him, and I know that he read the message.
A woman and 2 children murdered in Mobile County are being laid to rest, and the man accused of killing the families in Metro Jail charged with capital murder. But tonight we're learning more about his connection to the family. 54-year-old William Oliver was arrested yesterday, accused of killing the 3 family members inside their home on Auble Moody Road in Wilmer. Officials say Oliver knew the family for years and was at their home the night before the murders. The victims were found during the early morning hours of April 20th. The mother and son had their throats slashed, and the 17-year-old was shot. The victims were 46-year-old Lisa Fields, 17-year-old Keziah Luker, who was pregnant, and 12-year-old Thomas T.J. Cordell Jr. Our sister station spoke exclusively with the husband of Lisa Fields, and as Maya Falgu reports, he was shocked to find out the suspect is someone who spent so much time around the family.
Why did you do this? As 54-year-old William Bill Oliver was handcuffed and escorted to Metro Jail on Tuesday, Nathan Fields watched from his screen at home.
And what he looked like to me today was someone that the devil used up and he was left just drained and nothing.
Fields is the husband to Lisa Fields and stepfather to Keziah Luker, who was 8 months pregnant, and TJ Cordell, the family brutally killed last week.
I've played every scenario through my head, and now that I know for a fact who it was, I can imagine how it happened.
Fields says that Oliver used to come over to their house pretty much every day for the past year and knew his family extremely well.
I never would have took him as dangerous. I would have just took him as the creepy type.
The one person spared that night, Keziah's 18-month-old daughter. Fields says Oliver was very fond of the little girl.
I remember him picking her up and talking to her and loving on her last time I was home.
Fields told WKRG News 5 in a previous interview he suspected whoever did this to his family was someone they knew.
And I would have never expected something like that out of him. I'm not going to lie, I pray to God he's dead before he ever sets foot in court.
Fields says if there's one thing he could tell his wife.
Thank you for the time that she gave me. Thank her for making me better. Thank her for everything that she's done in my life.
And of course, stay with us here at WDHN, and we'll continue to keep you updated with any new developments as we follow this case.
So if he spoke to Lisa, with this freaking camera, if he spoke with Lisa around 6:21, and she didn't answer after, the reports is that William Oliver was seen on the property around 7:30. I mean, there's a possibility he could have arrived earlier. I mean, did he come over there like gangbusters? So this is, I don't know why my camera's acting up again. I did this the other night. Yeah, it's not gonna let me do anything here. So that's an interesting timeline difference right there. The 6:21 and the 7:30. So on Monday, if I get the probable cause, I will put it together to go live. Does anybody in the chat have anything to say or any questions? We will get into, like I said, I'm going to let things, I'm going to let things kind of play out before I do my next live, maybe like in a week or so. We'll go over, maybe by then Nathan will feel the need to come out and speak. I also plan on doing an interview with a family friend who was close with them, who has nothing but great things to say. If anybody who listens to this on replay or now has any information, I know that there's a couple of GoFundMe's floating around. And if someone with direct knowledge of if there's one specific one that would, they did just go through 3 funerals. I can't imagine the cost. There is the 18-month-old now who has lost her mother and her grandmother, who will, I'm sure her father will need help. So if there's a GoFundMe out there that I can circulate, I would be glad to do that for the family. So that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions or anything like that. Everybody in chat, this is a sad case, isn't it? It's such a sad case. And the circumstances of it being someone that they knew is just unbelievable. But I do know that Nathan Fields has made accusations that William Oliver's ex-wife was involved. And other people are making accusations, and we'll get into those. I want to make sure I pan those out and research things before I even discuss them. So, happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your day. The Kentucky Derby's on here in the next couple hours. If anybody watches that, I hope your horse wins. I'm getting ready to go downstairs. We're going to throw some steaks on the grill, and I will be, I don't know what, I got to fix this camera. Sorry guys about my camera, but me and Quester will be live tomorrow at 1 for the episode 44 of the Delphi Vault. And I do plan to squeeze in a members only. I need to do part 2 of the Jeffrey McDonald's case. We're going to go over the crime scene. You're welcome, Michelle, as always. Thank you, mods, for being here. I appreciate it. Again, the group chat for this case discussion group is in the chat. I will post it on my community page for you guys. If those of you who are interested in now following this case, it is a very sad case. William Oliver is not, I believe he's scheduled to appear again in court. I want to say later this month. I'll have to check on that. And then again, like I said, I'm going to call Monday morning about getting the probable cause affidavit. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It's free. And for those of you, when I go live to cover this case again, I will do all of those notification things that I did today. And if you have any information that you want to share with me or any information that you feel I got wrong, please let me know. I will gladly correct it. This is a new case for me. That's why we just did the basic introduction today. For those of everybody in chat who know me, they know that I go hard, I go deep. And if this case turns into something besides what law enforcement is claiming that it is, we will definitely be covering it for the 4 individuals who lost their lives. Thanks, you guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Have a good one. Till next time. Bye-bye.